Hey everybody, Austin here again with another Let's Play video. Today, as you can see, it's going to be Journey to Silius for the NES. A great side-scrolling, sort of run-and-gun platformer. Really good stuff here. Yeah, we're just going to jump right into the game. There actually is a code you can do in the title screen. I forgot if it's for like a sound test or if it's for extra lives. I think it's a sound test. You have to press A like 29 times or something weird, some weird number like that. I think that's how it was. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let the story roll out in this one. Normally I don't, if you've never played this game before, what's really interesting about this one, and I don't know the details specifically, but you can see it in the Happy Video Game Nerd episode on this game from many years ago, that apparently this game was to be based on a Terminator movie. I think the first Terminator, and I guess towards the end of the development cycle, they weren't able to actually fully secure the license or the rights, and so yeah, it's called RAF World in Japan. And but later on, towards the end of the game, especially, you can really see the Terminator influences. Yeah, you guys will see exactly what I mean once we get to that final boss. So we should be able to actually run through this game without too much trouble. I did actually play through it last night. I actually beat it twice in a row, back to back. And it's actually been a long time since I've been really good at this game. So just don't mind me if we're rusty and I take a lot of damage and stuff like that. Back in the day when I was a kid, I would try to get through these games without taking hits and stuff like that. But now I'm not that good. There's actually something to keep in mind is when you're playing this game, this laser right here could be tricky. You'll actually try to jump over that platform or that hole, and the laser will hit you halfway and you'll just fall straight down. It's kind of random, so just something to keep in mind. Usually there's not too many parts in this game where I have trouble like that, but that is one of the spots where I have died quite a few times, completely by accident, because it seems like the timing on the laser is just... Again, it's random, so there's going to be one other part towards the end of the game where I'm going to do something very specific in order to make a part a lot easier. So I'll show you guys what I mean, or explain what I mean once we get there. So we're going to go ahead and take our time too. Normally when I play this game, I sort of just try to rush through, and I'll even just take hits and tank my way through, basically, to speed things up. But Journey to Silius isn't really that difficult of a game. If you take it slow like this, just kind of take your time, enjoy the awesome music, enjoy the gameplay, kill the enemies as they come in, and you'll be fine. It's really not a tricky game at all, honestly. This guy right here, if you're new, just stay all the way back. You can just jump over the first one, duck the second one, just like this. And then shoot every time you land back on the ground. Some of these enemies that you see, you're going to see throughout the course of the game. Like that little turret tank thing we just fought. We're going to experience that a couple more times throughout the course of the game as well. So it's good to get into a rhythm and find the patterns for these enemies. If you hit start, you can also go to a weapon selection screen. So we've got handgun, which is your stock weapon, machine gun, which is basically like your stock weapon, but it shoots much faster, and then shotgun, which is a three-way shot. Every weapon except for your handgun has shared ammunition. So if I use, say, the machine gun here, let's kill this guy first. I run out of ammo, but you see, if I go to the shotgun, it's got the exact same ammo. What I'm gonna do is use the shotgun because it's a three-way shot. It probably makes life a little bit easier on these dudes, just like that. And this helicopter is going to fly off screen, then come back in, and we have to hit that sort of red flashing weak spot. And we can jump just high enough to be able to do that. Bosses in this game are not very complex. They have very set patterns as well, very much like a lot of the rest of this game. So it's just kind of like watch the projectiles, jump over them or duck them, and then jump and shoot, and just rinse and repeat. And that's the Journey to Silius in a nutshell, really. It's not that complex of a game, but it's a really fun game. I think it's a really solid game. I do wish there were a couple new things, or not a couple new things, but a couple things added to it that you just don't see in the game. Like, I really wish there was a scoring system of some kind. There are absolutely 0 points in this game. So, there's not a huge amount of incentive to kill the enemies. Like, this thing right here, I can just jump right over. I don't even need to attack it. But for, you know, the case of this video, I am going to attack it and just try to kill everything I see. Yeah, I wish there was a scoring system. I also wish the game had more stages. Maybe more stages and like a password system or something like that, because the game's actually relatively short. You know, it's only 5 levels. You can beat the game in probably about 20 minutes flat. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, a lot of NES games were like that. Like, some of my favorite NES games are that exact length. But I just feel like this game could have had even more to make it an even better game. Scoring system, for me, anyway, would probably seal the deal. I mean, again, I think it's an excellent game, and it's definitely sort of like a hidden gem on the system. Despite all the reviews in the last 5 or 6 years that have been trying to get it a little more well-known, it's still kind of a hidden gem. Still, you get people that don't really talk about it a whole lot, but it's a really solid game. This elevator here, you can actually jump onto it and latch onto it as it's coming down. Normally it has to come down all the way. So if you're trying to speed run through the game or something like that, that's a little trick you want to keep in mind to save some seconds. There's going to be another elevator up here, actually. And we can do the same trick. And I think there might even be an enemy. You can just jump over the enemy completely. Yeah, right here. Yeah, I really like the soundtrack in this game, too. I mean, especially the title screen and the first and second level themes. This was one of the few NES games back in the day where I actually hooked it up to my computer and recorded the music. I would get to the level I wanted to record and just sit there, because you could pause the game. There's no sound effects in the background, so you can get a nice, clean recording of the music. So I actually have all the tracks in this game ripped to my computer, the old-fashioned way, you could say. But yeah, absolutely love this soundtrack, and I'm pretty sure there is a sound test menu. I think. Pretty sure it was a code to access it. So every level has a mini-boss before the main boss, and this is our mini-boss here. This guy just kind of walks at you. He doesn't really do a whole lot. The mini-bosses are what give you your weapon upgrades, and so this one is going to be a homing missile, which I'm going to use for this boss. This boss has a claw arm that comes out, and it's got a very big hitbox. You want to try to stay away from it when he gets close to you, because he does sort of drive forward. Just like that. You could probably duck it, but it's okay. Alright, so we are officially halfway through the game. And after this level, we've only got 2 more stages. But from here on, you definitely want to take it a little bit slower if you're new to the game. It's still not extremely difficult, but there is a little more going on. More bullets flying around and stuff like that. I don't even think that turret you have to kill. You can just hop right on the elevator if you want. Oops. So these things right here, you have to actually get right next to them for them to trigger. And then they just go up and down at a set rate. So you need to just sit and watch and then go through when it's up. You know, it would have been kind of cool if this actually did turn out to be a Terminator game, because, you know, with this soundtrack and the gameplay and the graphics and stuff like that, it would have been a really killer Terminator game, I feel. We never really got a good Terminator game until T2, the arcade game, I think. Like, the Terminator license, the quality of its games has been all over the place over the years, and it was really bad in the beginning. You had, I totally forgot who made like the original Terminator and Terminator 2 games for consoles. But yeah, it was the Terminator license had a rough time with video games for quite a while. And if this had actually been a Terminator game, oh, it would have been so much better than the actual Terminator 1 game that we got on the NES. That is not a good game. To be fair, based on what I played, it is not a good game. I have not played it that much because it just, nothing about it really was that great to me. So, that would have been really cool if this was the Terminator game. You know, we'd have a really good licensed game. Nothing wrong with licensed properties if they're cool, like Terminator's a cool license. I'm sure a lot of you guys watching like the Terminator movies, or at least some of the older ones. But yeah, it would have been cool if this was a license. But hey, at least it got released. I'm just glad the game came out, period, because, you know, in some cases, if a game, you know, is even mostly developed, if they don't get that license, they might just cancel the game outright completely. So I'm glad we still got the game. It's a really nice game. I do recommend checking it out if you can. So all these lasers, they just come in and out at their own rate. So I like to use the homing attack on this guy right here. Okay, good, we got him. If we die at a boss, we just start back out at the boss again. So I'm gonna try to use my laser gun. Oops. Why did I do that, man? Why did I do that? Ah, I am not focused today, that is for sure. Oh, I'm so not focused. Wasted all that time. And I have no ammo now. So you can basically get 3 hits off of this guy. And you can basically just sit in this spot right here and just wait for the pattern and just jump up. So like I said, pretty much every boss in the game is just like this. It's, oops, very set pattern. You usually just sit in one spot and do your thing. Now you could beat this boss a lot faster. I'm taking my sweet ass time. I'm just taking it very, very safe. So we're at the second to last level now. And this boss coming up, basically the exact same thing. There's a core in the middle, you have to jump up and shoot. And he's got a laser that comes out at the same pattern every single time, and so you'll see what I mean once we get there. But it's very rudimentary bosses, honestly. They're not very complex. They don't really require that much brain power. So the final stage is actually an auto-scroller, so... which basically means the screen is just pushed along at its own rate the entire time of the level. So this is our last sort of normal stage where we can just control the movement of the screen on our own. It's gonna be a turret on the right, so we just want to keep moving left, get out of the way of that. So right here, I just kind of want to jump straight down because of these turrets. It's gonna be a platform that falls from the sky. Or, not really the sky, the ceiling. We are not outside. So right here, you probably want to use your shotgun. Because it's really hard to hit that guy. I don't even think it's possible to hit him from the ground with your normal handgun. Alright, so this is the part I was referring to on that first stage, where I want to do something very specific here. What I want to do is use my homing attack. Like that. Those platforms you don't want to try to run across because you'll get stuck and hung on the last one and then you'll just fall to your death. Also, there's usually a flying guy that comes through, but I actually pushed the screen far enough that I was able to take it out without actually switching to my homing attack. So you really want to jump on the first two falling blocks and then jump on the last two falling blocks in that order. Otherwise, you're probably going to die at that part. It's a really tricky part in the game. Probably the trickiest part in the game, honestly. I died there a lot back in the day. And we got some more falling platforms. Just take it easy on those. You want to just sort of like jump on them and then jump off. Ooh, that was really close. I forgot there was going to be another flying enemy there. But I got lucky. I'll take it. Oops. Alright, so last stretch, basically, for this level. So right here, you can sort of just try to shoot at about the same level as this little ceiling part, and you can usually hit this guy. I prefer to do it that way instead of using, and here's probably the mini-boss, I think. Let's see. Yeah. Gonna have to take the hit. Good, got it. As long as we get to the boss, I'm fine. So we should be able to beat this boss, hopefully without any problem. I guess we're gonna find out. Now, you're actually on a platform. Oh man, we died. We're on a platform, and so if you fall off, you will actually die. So, do not walk off the ledge. It's bad. And just like the previous boss, the core, basically, the pattern of everything that's happening is not synced together. So, like, the timing of the core opening is different than the timing of the laser coming out. So you're gonna find instances where you're gonna jump up over the laser, but the core is not gonna be open. See, kind of like that. Realistically, you kind of want to get to these bosses with some weapons, because that just makes life a lot easier. You take the bosses down so much faster if you have weapon power-ups. So when you get to the mini-boss right before this guy, you might want to just try to take him out without using your special weapons. Alright, so if we die, it's pretty much game over. And you do get continues in this game, so we're going to see the end, see to the end of the game no matter what, guys. But, we might have to continue in the process. So these things right here, you just want to wait for it to drop. And we're probably going to have to, tank our way here. I don't think I can get through it without taking hits, no matter what. So I'm going to just take the hit, not get crushed. So yeah, complete auto-scroller level. It's really not that difficult, as long as you take your time. It's going to be a little baby jump you need to do here. If you do a full jump, you will not make it through. You'll fall to your death. So yeah, if you just tap A a little bit, you can do a really tiny jump. And again, like a lot of some of the other things that are triggered in this game, you need to sit next to those smashers or crushers, and then they'll trigger. Oh man, that was bad. I should have waited. See, that's bad. I was hoping to beat this game without continuing, but looks like we failed that quest. There's really no excuse in this game. I should be able to beat this game without continuing, but I'm not really there 100% today. Definitely a little out of it, so, but it's okay. We're still gonna see to the end of the game. Not a big deal. So as you can see though, just one quick little mistake on this level and you can just die instantly. There are checkpoints, but because we got a game over, we get shot back to the very beginning of the stage. So again, little baby jump here. Any higher, I probably would have fallen to my death. Because basically what happens is you'll jump up, you'll hit the top wall, and you'll lose a little bit of your air mobility, and when you try to fit into that slot, you're not gonna, your fall is too fast, you can't fit your way in. Ooh. Alright, let's just take our time again. Oh, I did it! Ooh, that was really, really close. Oh, man. I got lucky. I went through the platform and then latched onto it, and I was able to jump. Of course, I'm like, oh, this level's not very hard, you know, like... Maybe it is a little tricky. Okay, I'll give it some credit. It is a little tricky. Alright, second to final boss. This is kind of like the mini-boss of this level. You need to duck through here, and then when it raises back up, you can stand up and then move through it. Watch out for the little flames, or whatever you want to call them. You do take damage on those, and you're going to have to cut through. But the one right here, yeah, that's going to fire too, so we need to wait. Oh, that's bad. Alright, I've got to be really careful, because one more hit, I'm done. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this in one hit. I just don't think it's going to happen. Wow, we did it. Okay. So now we're at the actual final boss, and the real Terminator references come into play here. What I'm going to do is use my grenade, since I've got some ammo. And this guy, it's actually a very easy final boss. When he gets to you, he ducks, just jump over him. Go to the other side of the screen. Bam, just like that. If you use your standard handgun, it takes a lot longer to take them down. So if you've got weapons, you might as well just use them. It's faster. So that, guys, is Journey to Silius for the NES. Really fun game again. It's, you know, not super long, it's not super complex. It's just fun. It's got great music, it's got good graphics. The controls I actually didn't really talk about, but the controls are actually really good too. And I really like how your character's got this sort of like floaty kind of... He's got inertia to his movement. He doesn't just... It's a little like Mega Man, where Mega Man doesn't just start up his movement immediately, and your character in this game is kind of like that. A little more loose than Mega Man, but when you do jump, the jump is... It's almost like Super Mario Brothers a little bit, where, you know, if you tap jump a little bit, you'll do a baby jump, and if you hold it, you'll go higher, and you're not always at the same fixed rate. You sort of like slow down as you get to the top, and then you come down faster, you know, that sort of thing. It's cool. And it's a really good feeling game overall, from a control perspective, and it's, yeah. And players, the people that played the game. So, yeah. Classic by Sunsoft. Unsung classic. So, alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here as usual. I want to say thanks for watching. If you made it to the end and you're new to my channel, feel free to subscribe. I've got many Let's Plays on the way, and I've got many Let's Plays on my channel already. You can feel free to check out if you're into that sort of thing. So everybody else that's already subbed, as usual, thanks a lot for the continued support. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And feel free to post a comment below with any comments in regards to this game. So, alright guys, I'll see you soon. Take it easy.